Hi all, Hal here with more Empyrion, Galactic Survival, Alpha Preview. Mwah. Happy Friday everybody, I hope you're having a fantastic week, and hopefully by the time you're seeing this, if not immediately around the time this video goes live, sometime during today, the folks at Eleon Games will be releasing the alpha update to everyone, so it'll be out in the wild. So what I wanted to do today is I wanted to go over just some of the systems that you can expect to be seeing. As you can see, we are once again back in our creative world, and we're going to go over things like the some of the new systems, such as the PDA system, which is now in the game, which is the basis of your quest lines, the updated blueprint system. We're going to touch on a little bit of the planet configuration system, which is supposed to be in today's release, but I have not yet seen it within the alpha blade that I've been given access to, as well as the new clone chamber. For the folks who have been playing along all week, hopefully you have entered the contest already. If not, or for the people who are just stopping in for the first time, there is a contest running for a free copy of Empyrion, which has been provided by the folks over at Eleon Games. We will have links to both that contest as well as the other two episodes in the preview series, which were both Monday and Wednesday, and I will probably put them on screen somewhere around here at some point. If I don't remember, I apologize. They will be in the description below at the very least. So yeah, getting into it. So first off, I wanted to say, like I said, happy Friday. I hope everyone's having a great time. This has been an interesting experience, and it's thanks to the folks over at Eleon Games that we've been able to do this, because they did give me access to the alpha stuff. So now let's go ahead and talk about the first of the systems. Because I don't have access to it and I can't really go into in depth with it right now, for the planet config, they are introducing the ability for players to do custom planets within the game. Like I said, I'm in creative mode currently, so I don't have it here, and I don't see it. I haven't seen it over in the survival aspect of the game either, and I think they're doing that intentionally. I think they kind of want that to be the big thing for them to unveil, so they'll be able to go into detail and not have things confused as to what's going on. However, one of the things that you'll be able to do, and what they're saying you're going to be able to do, is you're going to be able to do things like selecting what the major points of interest are, what factions show up on the planet, the land to water mass ratios, that type of thing. You'll be able to configure and customize planets to a fairly significant amount by the time the system is fully fleshed out and functional. So with that said, let's move on to the clone chambers. So introduced in the alpha is a new device. It is the clone chamber. Let's find it over here really quick. That's not it. It is going to be down here somewhere. I know I'm basically looking right at it, aren't I? Oh, well, we can use one of the new features here for the UI. You now have a filtering system in place. Alright, so let's go ahead and place this beast. As you see, it looks basically like the old med station. It actually looks like the old oxygen station back before they put in the new system. It's the same model as the med station, just with the bluish white light instead of the red light. What this allows you to do is, when you are doing your respawn, if you die and you need to respawn, you can designate any base that has one of these things in it as your quote unquote home base. What that entails is that if you are out and about doing something, and you can put these in the CVs as well. So if you have a second base over here somewhere, like on the other side of the planet, like I do, you would be able to, if you have a clone station there, you are able to establish that as your home base. So if I'm over here and I do something and I die and I actually want to be over here, that's where it's going to respawn me. Now, this does not mean that if you have a base and you die, that you won't be able to respawn without one here. The difference is that you know exactly where you're spawning when you have a base and the clone chamber, because you are going to spawn at the clone chamber as long as that base is designated as your home base. Now, you can spawn near your other bases. It will be much more similar to the way that the spawns used to work back in the day when the game first came out, where you would spawn in a random location somewhere in the near vicinity of your base. I believe you still need the med bay in place for it to act as a spawner, but it won't allow you to spawn directly at the station. It'll spawn you somewhere out in the countryside, within, I don't know, probably like 50 or so blocks of the med station, or specifically the med station or base. So yeah, that's basically what's going on with this. I mean, it's not rocket science. Well, hey, it's Empyrion, so I guess it is technically rocket science in some way, shape, or form, but but the mechanics themselves are not. So it's a good addition to have. I do like the fact that it basically gives you an in-game reason for where you are respawning, and they are starting to use more of the placeholder things. Well, the items that were previously placeholders are now being used more within the game. On that note, in case you haven't seen this yet, I don't know if I can place this thing here. The old science station is actually now your warp drive tank. This is your fuel system for when you want to use your warp drive. You will need to have one of these placed on your CV in order to use it, because we're not on a CV currently. I can't place this thing, but they have introduced a new fuel type specifically for warp drives, and what you're going to need to look for is this wonderful stuff right here, the blue crystal. Now, your blue crystal is a resource that will be found on random planet. Well, I shouldn't say random. It will show up on various planets, just like Promethean does now. And when you have enough of these crystals, you take them to your construction units, and you convert them into pentatechs. And what this is this is actually what you use for your fuel. For the Star Trek fans out there, think of dilithium. There's the new water jug and the water bottles. So yeah, I mean, these are just things that you've already seen, and we'll see more of once the alpha is out and about. I did have someone ask about the concrete blocks, which require cement. In order to make cement, you do have to get crushed stone. So there now is 2 reasons to have crushed stone, not just to make the rock dust, but you also use it to make cement. Basically, you harvest the crushed stone, which is over here somewhere. Where did my crushed stone go? See, I am just losing all sorts of stuff today. Yeah, there we go. So you take your crushed stone over to the constructor, you convert it to rock dust, and then from there you take rock dust and I believe it's purified water. All right, so you'll take your purified water and rock dust in the constructor, and you'll make cement, and then you use that cement to make the concrete blocks. All right. So one of the last 2 things we're going to talk about here are the blueprint systems. So for those who have not seen this before, in your player inventory now you have your tech trees, your factions, which have been there previously, the PDA, which we'll get to shortly, and the blueprint system. When you come into the blueprint system, all of the blueprints that you've either created yourself in creative or a survival mode, or have downloaded from the workshop, will show up here. If you see one that shows up as red, basically what this means is there's an item in there that a player is not allowed to create. In this particular case, I took a blueprint of the base that we're currently standing on and added an alien core to it, and it shows up as red, and it gives you the cheat hint, the little hint down here, little cheat sheet thing, telling you that the reason it's red is because it contains a forbidden block, which is the alien core. Now, there are spawners and other things that you can use to populate bases, and then in those bases or ships and the other builds that you may create, when you're customizing the planet, you're supposed to be able to import those to your custom planet as a point of interest. And so even though you yourself are not creating it, it shows up as an alien hostile thing, just like any other base or point of interest would show up in the game. So that is the basic stuff that is going on with these new systems. Finally, we have the PDA. Now, the PDA system is actually pretty interesting because it is their first pass at in-game quests. As you can see here, there are currently 3 chapters: the survival base camp, build a base, and building a vessel. When you expand these down, they will give you a list of mission objectives in order to complete. So what you can do is, when you are selecting the chapter, you activate the chapter, and you'll go basically through the progress list. And as you complete these, it'll progress you through, but it'll also get you in position for your character to survive within the game. For people who have been playing the game for a while, you may or may not find this interesting. For people who are new to the game, it is a much needed and greatly appreciated, or should be a greatly appreciated system to get you through. Having a tutorial to get you involved in the game, I think, is a good thing. The quests are really simple. They get you very quickly into what you need to do and get you used to the mechanics that exist within the game. So check your starting equipment. Basically, when you land in your escape pod, it tells you what you need to do to complete it. You open your escape pod inventory, you grab all of the equipment out of it, and that completes it, which then moves you forward to the constructor, then basic crafting, eventually to oxygen, picking up plants and harvesting, how to consume the things that you are harvesting or creating, in specific for food or med kits. The basics of your hunting and looting. You get into survival cooking, which uses the crafting station that you placed back here, upgrading your weapons, and then mining and minerals. And again, this is stuff that people who have been playing the game for a while kind of take for granted, because you had to figure it out on your own. One of the big requests for people that were new to the game was a tutorial system, and now you've got one. And what I've been told is that this is only the beginning of the missions that you're going to see. Eventually, they want to have the ability for there to be planet-based missions. So when you get to a planet, there might be like a recon and recovery, or when you find, say, a fragment of one of the destroyed ships, like the crashed Titan, maybe a quest line comes up for that. Also, maybe having things where the developers interject special storylines, and that'll show up in this as well. And basically what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to check this from time to time just to see. But when you complete any of these out, you will get a system message up here in the top right corner, just like you do for everything else. So just to give you an idea. Generally, as you see, I just tried to hit the warp drive. Unfortunately, I'm not in a vehicle that has a warp, so it gave me a system message. That system message location is the same place that you'll get updates on your quests as well. So, yeah, I mean, this is going to be kind of a short episode, because a lot of the things that we want to do, we're not really going to be able to do here in creative mode. We do need to be in survival mode for. And that is the topic of the live stream tonight at 7 p.m. U.S. Pacific time. We will be addressing a lot of the systems and the system changes in there. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be starting our next Let's Play series. And as part of the kickoff for the alpha, we're basically waiting for the alpha to drop before we start our new series, and we're going to walk through a lot of this as we go. So starting this Friday, and the first formal episode past the live stream will be next Monday. So if you have questions or comments, make sure you get them into me, and what I will do is try and answer them as best I can, as either during the live stream, or if you have questions after the live stream, I'll try and work them into the first episode. Well, the first couple of episodes, depending on what the question is, so that everybody hopefully finds the answers that they're looking for. As a reminder, we do have a contest for a free key that was provided by the folks over at Eleon. So thank you guys very much for providing that key. If you are interested in trying to get a free copy of the game, we have one to give away. I will put the contest details down in the description of this video, as well as links to the other videos, which will, for the Monday and Wednesday episodes for the folks who weren't here for them. So if you have any questions or comments, throw them in the section below. As always, folks, take care and be safe out there, everybody. Oh, let's go. It's time to cosplay. Finally.